Welcome to the Kool, the Kareem Matthews Podcast. I'm here today with one of my best friends in the world, man. This dude's actually like my brother, you know what I'm saying? Point guard extraordinaire. One of the people I can say is actually equal to or maybe a bigger Ram fan than myself. Give it up for Mr. Rodney Lusain.
Appreciate it, big homie. It's Ramley on ours.
Yeah, nah, for real, man. Since the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Since they was here the first time. That's what's so crazy. But I want to just get right into it, man. It's a day, 24 hours, you know what I'm saying, after what happened yesterday. And I just want to get, you know what I'm saying, your thoughts. Like how are you feeling 24 hours later? Because I know how you felt right after it happened, you know what I'm saying? So I want to give you a chance to cool off and see how you feel now.
I'm still mad, man. I'm still
Mm.
mad, and I feel like we outplayed uh, Philly yesterday, and we didn't we didn't finish what was there to be finished. And as I hear people reacting, and all the reaction is positive, like I feel like the mad rapper. I feel like the one dude that's just sitting there hating and mad. Because everybody's positive. Everybody's like, bring Stafford back. We fought in the snow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, squash all that. We were supposed to win that game. We were supposed to we were supposed to do them the way Detroit or the way Washington did Detroit, is how I feel. And 24 hours later, I'm on that same feeling.
Nah, I can't argue with a lot of what you said, you know what I'm saying? Like we did leave a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, I'm in the camp of the positive side. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like what we went up against, you know what I'm saying, in the snow, everybody was talking about an LA team. Like I feel like we made a good account of ourselves. Like I almost gave up after that Saquon run. Like I was trying to hold positive the whole game, but after he broke that run, then I started being like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? And even then we fought back even more, you know what I mean? Which I don't know. You brought up a point before we got on air about Saquon breaking that run.
Right.
Like, oh, go ahead.
So yeah, they were saying that second touchdown run that he broke to put them up 28-15 with like 4 minutes left. They said if he had slid on that and just took a knee, like broke it for like 50 yards, got the first down, then take a knee, which is what he did the week before against Green Bay. If he had
Right.
done that yesterday, then they would have just been able to kind of manage the clock, run another
And
minute or two off, kick a field goal, still go up 2 scores, but only make us use our timeouts, and then maybe only give us under 2 minutes to try to come up with them 2 scores. But he took it all the way to the house, and then that left us 4 minutes, all our timeouts, the 2 minute warning. We had a
right.
full cupboard, and we damn
Let
near
us
made him
win it.
pay for it. Yeah,
Right. Nah. And it's crazy because when you said that, I had just seen something that said, I guess Jalen Carter had got a sack on that last drive. And it
right.
was like the all 22 showed if he didn't get that sack, we had the winning touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Which even makes it more painful. Like, man.
I'm
And
sitting
then,
here like a bobblehead shaking my head.
nah. And then when they punted us the ball back that last time,
Right,
X let it drop
right.
and it went like 12 more yards. If we had those 12 yards you know what I'm saying? Adding on to the drive that we completed, we would have been at like the two.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to the 14 minus the 12 yards. And when it happened, we was like X fucked up right there. Like we knew that was a mistake the moment he did it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then it and then it came back to like, man, we here at the 14. You let 12 yards go before we got the ball. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of you right though. It was a lot like we really outplayed them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wasn't like the first time you was like, nah, they beat us up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's
This
why I'm so mad at myself for being mad, because after they beat us the first time, I pretty much closed the door. I was like, we gonna still win our division. we gonna win a playoff game, but we not elite. Like we not a real contender. Was how
Nah,
I felt after that first Philly game.
and you was done with Tyron.
Yeah, I was. Because, after Saquon did what he did, I'm sitting there like, all right, man, that dude's a 10 at running back. And Kyron's cool. Like, going into the game, I was rocking with Kyron. But when Saquon come out and like, man, let me show you
And
what a real back.
even Sunday, even during the game, Kyron was hanging with Saquon until that fumble. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I mean, like we've been saying, if Kyron's not gonna be explosive and he can't be a fumbler, you know what I mean? And I mean, I've been the biggest Tyron fan, but like that's what puts him on the table for me now. Like, I can't defend that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your one job, is to not fumble.
Right.
Especially if you're not breaking the long runs.
Exactly.
Like if you break the wrong runs, every now and then we okay, you can fumble. You know what I'm saying?
Like if Saquon is fumbling, you cool with that?
Right,
like
right.
Saquon is
He don't
dropping the
fumble.
ball.
Right. Nah, because he's gonna crack 370-yard runs off. You know what I mean? Nah, it's so much, dude, because it's like today I've been hearing talks about Saquon being a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, I get, but after what he just did to us, I'm just mad at him. Like, I can't even look at him objectively. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude, whatever with Saquon, but they throw a Hall of Famer out there now. And I'm like, man, like they putting him up there with like Barry Sanders, Dickerson. Like, I mean, I'm like, man, is that what we crowning him with?
And
we did that.
Right. No,
they wasn't giving that to Saquon before these 2 games. You know what I'm saying?
And leading up to the game, I was like, dude, I wanted to go back and look at some New York Giant tape because I'm like, we had to have played him before. Like, why is Saquon doing us like that? Like, have we not played this dude?
Had we?
I think we had. Like, I didn't go back and look, but I'm like, I know we played the Giants when he was there. But then, of course, everything is like, well, he wasn't behind this O-line when he was in New York.
Nah, and that's the part.
Maybe he ain't Hall of Fame. It's like, all right, dude, if you really need that dope a line.
But the other backs wasn't doing this, though. I think it's the combination because Dickerson with us had a great line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had a great line back then. So I think it's the combination of the line and this back that's producing 2,000. You know what I'm saying? Because I went back and looked at their line. Because I was like, man, this line, like, you know what I'm saying? What is this line? The line is real. Like, it's basically 4 tackles.
Right.
And a center.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Becton was a tackle.
A good one.
Yeah, a top 10 pick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he couldn't play a tackle. And then Dickerson, the other guard, was a tackle at Alabama. And then they 2 tackles, Mailata and Johnson.
Lane Johnson, yeah.
That's why like the smallest dude is the center. He's 300.
Right.
Everybody else is 330, and they got 2 dudes at 370.
Right.
Mailata and Becton.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And then they D-line is like that. Those 2 tackles are huge.
Right.
So they just bully, like, but even with all that, we was hanging with them. I mean, we really outplayed them. You know what I'm saying? Saquon had 2 runs. Jalen Hurts had 1 run.
Right.
And you take those away, we was bottling him up. But they say that's what the good backs, that's how they are. You can bottle them up all game, but they crack 170 and all of a sudden their numbers look good.
Right. Nah. And that's damn sure what he did.
And he do 2. You know what I'm saying? He do 2 70-yarders and all of a sudden his numbers look great.
Which is the bare minimum he gonna get off on the Rams. He like, I'm gonna crack y'all for 2 70-yarders per game. Like that ain't never happened in the history of the NFL. Like they listed like if you got 200 against a squad earlier in the season and you saw that squad later in the season, you was not getting 200. Like nobody has hit one team for 200 twice in a season.
That's unbelievable. Like, I'm still baffled by that, man. How he was cracking those runs off on us. And it's like our dude, well, our linebackers maybe, but our secondary's not slow.
Right.
Like, they was not closing on him. Like, Verse would be the only one in the picture, and he's not really that fast.
Right. And that was just a competitor in him. I mean, because
Right,
he knew he had no chance of catching Saquon, but he like, I'm
right.
not
I'm gonna
gonna
be
be
in
in
the
the
picture at
film
the end of
twice.
this run.
And I'm not gonna be pulling up at the end of it like I'm
Right,
sprinting to the end zone.
right.
I'm gonna be there 5 seconds after you, Saquon, but I'm
But
gonna
I'm
get
gonna be there full speed. Nah, and see, that's the other thing. Like, finding dudes like him, well, not finding, we spent on him, but him, Verse, I mean, him, Fisk,
Kobe
the
Turner.
safety.
Oh, you talking about the rookies or just the whole
Yeah,
team?
right. The rookies.
Oh, Kitchens.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's 4 starters from this class to go what we did last class. Like, I'm like, we
No,
headed in the right direction.
they ranked the Rams rookie class as the #1 rookie class in the league this year.
Because Fisk led all rookies in sacks.
Right.
That 8.5 at D tackle. That's 2 years
Right.
in a row we hit on high level D tackles. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. As disappointing as this is, last year we lost in the first round.
Right.
This year we took another step. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had taken a step back, then I would be more with blowing it up. Like, right now, I'm like, yo, we taking the progression. Like, Detroit fell back. This was supposed to be their year. They have been taking the progressions. You know what I'm saying? And they stepped back. Golf turned into golf. For us, dude, you know what I'm saying? We just fell short. Like, I feel like if it was 10 more minutes in that game, we win that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we found the no huddle too late.
Right.
When we
Yeah.
went to that, we wouldn't letting them sub that wore that D line out. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm mad, but I'm not mad to blow it up. I'm mad to look at stuff like Kyron definitely, you know what I'm saying? We gotta look into that. I'm not ready to get rid of Stafford yet unless we're getting a real up. I mean, not even a real upgrade, but somebody on an equal level, which would have to be a top 10 quarterback.
Right.
I'm willing to let Cup go if that has to be done. I mean, if he wants to come back at a prorated rate, you know what I'm saying? I will bring him back at that. But I want another receiver. You know what I mean? Like, spend a little bit on the O. The D is very cheap. They're gonna allow us to spend on the O for another year or two. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like as painful as this loss was, we shouldn't get radical about it.
Yeah. I mean, the D is, I think they said if you put the entire defense's salaries together,
Mm,
I think it's still less than what Matt Stafford made this year. Like
mm.
Matt Stafford's pay this year is
It's
more
more
than
than
we
our
paid our entire D. And I don't think that's just a starting D. I think that's the whole defense.
really.
And
Because
so
that's what
to
no,
be
go
that
ahead.
cheap on defense and to get the quality of play that we got, like that's unheard of, I would think.
It's like having a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have that flexibility to now spend that money on our offense. And that's the thing. Like, I think Stafford will be like a 40-something $million hit next year on the cap. And that's where they were like, is he worth that?
Nah, I read up. He's not even, well, that's what the going market rate is. Like they figuring that's going to be the minimum that they can get away with. Although I
Mm.
guess some QBs is getting paid like 65, 70.
That?
Mahomes is at like 45 because he ain't renewed in a minute. But right now, Stafford ain't on our books at all next year. Like we paid him all his guaranteed money for 2024. So
Mm.
that they was like, when we get to the off season going into 2025, like we'll reassess. Like ain't nothing that's binding us together right now with Stafford.
Mm.
But if we want to resign him, unless he gonna do something team friendly, then yeah, they like 40 mil is probably the bare minimum. And that's even that would be him leaving some money on the table. Like if we was gonna pay him what, because I feel like he got 40 this year. Like when everything was combined,
Right.
he came out to like 36-40. But if we was to pay him probably what he deserved as a top 10 QB, then it'd probably be like 50-60 mil. And that's my
a
thing.
lot. That makes you go
the
ahead.
whole philosophy was we're gonna have a cheap defense with young, hungry dudes, which I love. I feel like that's always the way to go on defense. And then we're gonna splurge on the offense, like we're gonna spend on the offense. Like that's supposedly what we did this season. It just ended. And my question is, did we get our money's worth? Like, did the offense?
We did not. I mean, because we spent on Jonah.
Right.
He didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? Well, the other person we spent on was Cam.
Right. Well, Dotson we resigned.
Oh, okay.
I think we gave him probably more than Jonah.
That was fine.
We re-signed Stafford. Like we moved all he had a contract for 24, 25, 26. We took everything that we was going to owe him in 25 and 26 and put it in 24. And so that's three dudes we spent money on. I mean, and Cup ain't too far into his latest re-signing. Like he's probably our biggest cap hit right now coming into next year at like 30 mil. So
see, that's too much.
We spent on our offense, and I just felt like we had the Buffalo game, maybe the Minnesota game, the first one, maybe the first half of the playoff game in Arizona.
Right. No, we didn't get our bang for our buck on that because I feel like we didn't really spend it on the skill positions. You know what I'm saying? We spent it more. I mean, Stafford, okay, yeah. But we spent it more.
We re-signed DeMarcus, but that wasn't for no major money.
Right. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. Now I feel like now we got to spend on the skill positions. You know what I'm saying? Or draft, but like bring in a receiver, a top flight receiver. You know what I'm saying? And that's, that's where we can upgrade. Like I feel like we thought we was upgrading O-line, but it turned out to be from the draft. Like we didn't even need to spend on Jonah because he got his spot taken by a dude we drafted. You know what I'm saying?
In the fifth round.
7th.
Oh wow.
7th round. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We stole him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Dotson coming back definitely was worth it. And Stafford coming back definitely was worth it. You know what I mean? But Jonah, that money we spent on Jonah.
I mean, and we spent on Parkinson. But nah, for sure, we was sleep at the wheel at the skill positions. Like I've told you several times, I don't know why the hell in the offseason we wasn't thinking about, dude, Saquon's available. Like, we didn't even entertain the thoughts. We was just like, dude, we got Kyron, we good.
Right.
And you named all them other running backs. That's
Derrick Henry. Available. Derrick Henry, because that's the other one. When you say Saquon, I always think even if we didn't look at Saquon, we could have looked at Derrick Henry.
And dude in Green Bay, Jacobs.
Right. I mean, and then Mixon.
Mixon, right.
But no one knew those two. You know what I mean? You did your homework to figure out them two. But you didn't have to really,
Jacobs and Mixon, you did your homework?
Right. But you didn't have to squint too hard to see Saquon and Derrick Henry doing what they did. You know what I mean? You didn't have to be a genius to figure those two out. Like Mixon and the other dude, that was like, okay, you were shrewd with that because they were good where they were, but they took a step up. You know what I'm saying? For these squads. But I mean, nah. When you brought up looking at Saquon and seeing what Kyron ended up doing, like, You can't argue it. You know what I mean? And now it's not going to be like that this offseason. It's not going to be another Saquon out there. You know what I mean? So trying to do that now is like we late.
Right, but it ain't got to be a Saquon. It just needs to be somebody who could take them 15-yard runs that Kyron be getting and make it a 50-yard run. And there's dudes out there that can do it. Like, I can't name none of them. Right. But it's some low key. I mean, running back.
It's not hard to find.
And I hope it's coming back because, the thing the last few years has been you don't spend on your running back. Like when we spent on Ty Gurley, they was like, are y'all crazy? Like y'all going to draft him, first of all, 10th. He off 2 knee surgeries. And then y'all going to re-cake him like early.
Right.
Eventually it came back to bite us in the ass. And maybe that's when the running back fell completely off. And people was like, yep, told y'all.
Nah, I was about to say, I think we broke the market when we caked up Todd. But then the market came back with what these dudes did this year. Because remember, they had like that forum a year ago when nobody was getting paid.
Right.
They all got on like Zoom calls and was trying to figure out what they was going to do. And they basically all just had to take small contracts. But this year, those dudes made running backs valuable again. You know what I'm saying? Like how we mad and we still got a cool running back.
Right.
Like the Cowboys, they should be furious. You know what I'm saying? Like Derrick Henry was waiting for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they got no play from running back. We still had a cool running back and we're mad.
Right.
So half the teams in the league got to have that same feeling. You know what I mean? Half the teams in the league are going to be looking at running back like, okay, we need to reevaluate too. You know what I'm saying? And we had a dude that was right below that top tier. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't know.
We got to find some. I mean, if we come back with the same running backs next year, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I'm like, all right. I mean, we had an 8, I feel like, in the running back room. Plus, we ain't seen what Blake going to do. Blake Corum, who we drafted. So I'm like, all right, if we come back with the same running back room, that's cool. But don't let me find out somebody picked up a dope free agent and I didn't hear them linked to us. Like when CMC got traded to Frisco a couple of years ago, like we was in that.
Right. We were in on that.
I at least want to hear we in the mix. Like, all right, Saquon flew out to LA to meet with the Rams. We didn't sign him, but okay, like.
And that's the thing. When we get involved, we usually get players. You know what I mean? They don't usually say they choose between us and somebody else and they choose the other squad. So we need to get involved. You know what I mean? Like it's not a problem with us getting outbid or people don't want to come here now. Like we're a destination franchise. So I'm a big Kyron fan, but when you brought up the point that we should have kicked the tires on Saquon, I couldn't fight that. And then it instantly popped into my head. Derrick Henry too. Like he was out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think we had made a couple moves and was still like, hey, Derrick Henry's still out there. We had probably signed Jonah because that was like one of the first moves was us signing Jonah.
Right. And I think I vaguely remember you texting me, asking me would I want to sign Derrick Henry. And I probably said no because I slept on Derrick Henry. Like, I didn't even know how historically great dude is. Like, he damn near, top 5?
Russian?
Right.
Nah.
Which is what makes me think he at the end. I know he over 30 or damn near.
He's just 31. Right. He's 31. But yeah. I mean, he just reminded me so much of Dickerson. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was like, he would look great in our shit.
Right.
But yeah, it looked like we running out of time. And I want to touch on the previous. Yeah. The previous playoff game. Before we run out of time, I want to talk about the Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Because they took our playoff game away. They moved it to AZ. I mean, it was awful with the fires, totally understandable. but I feel like it turned out to be a great experience. Like, I don't know. I feel like it actually worked out for the best.
Right.
I don't know if it would have been that great at SoFi.
In the midst of the fires, I think anything celebratory it would have felt real good. Like any joy, even if it was in SoFi, like any joy that people in LA was feeling this time last week was gonna feel like the best joy you done felt in a minute. I think you're right though. The whole experience, because it was a week ago. Like today's
Right.
Monday, so last Monday, I think I
Mm,
texted you this morning. Like this time last Monday, we was on that bus to AZ, probably
right.
making that pit stop in Indio. And so I just looked at my phone right now. It's 9:30 Arizona time. So that's
Mm,
about when the game was ending. So
right. That's crazy. Now,
uh,
and that's the thing. Like, we got to tailgate. We probably wouldn't have done that at SoFi. You know what I'm saying? It just was more bonding. We rode up there with these people on these buses for 5 hours. We definitely wouldn't have done that at SoFi, you know? So it was like when we got to the stadium, people were like, oh, bus six. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know. I feel like it ended up being a great experience. Like, yeah.
it did, it ended up being like a 5, 6, 7 hour tailgate because the bus ride up, once we hit that open freeway and, we got to opening them cubbies and them, them bottles started popping. Uh,
Oh, man.
it
Yeah.
made for a dope ride up. And then we got there 2 hours before they opened the gate, like you said. So we had to go in the parking lot,
Right.
carrying bottles with us, like pouring
Right.
people drinks as we
Right.
was. And so, yeah,
Nah.
man,
All that would not have got done at SoFi. You know what
right,
I mean?
right,
So,
right.
nah.
Nah,
It
and
was
I
cool.
don't think we all knew how much we needed it. Like,
Right. Nah. It was a bonding